What's up YouTube, Bismath here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about different tips and suggestions that you can use in your cold calling journey. Let's say you're a real estate agent and you're going after some sellers. These different tips that I use when I cold call, you all can use also. And of course, if you're a wholesaler trying to wholesale some properties, you all, this is vital information. All right. So you all, right now I'm just giving different advice, and on my channel I give you all practical advices and real life examples. If you look through my channel, I have tons of videos on me just cold calling, raw leads, live, answering the call. I have tons of videos. Even my last video was just me cold calling one seller and just building rapport and trying to connect myself with that seller. All right, so if you all enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and then comment down below if you all have any questions. All right, let's get right into this. Put on my gafas, and then let's go. So, advice for first time cold callers. Boom. So, number one is just do it, right? We have a lot of fear when we're cold calling. There's a lot of anticipation, a lot of buildup. It's just like meeting someone for the first time, right? But this makes it hard because you're trying to, in a way, see if they want to sell their house. And we all got these calls before, so we put ourselves in the other people's shoes, and so we understand the struggle with cold calling. But my advice is just do it, just like Nike. So know that you're going to make mistakes, and that is totally fine, and know that you will get better over time, and it does get more tolerable, or like even easier. I was tempted to use the word easier, but sometimes there's some days that even though you've been doing it for years, there's sometimes that first initial call, like, okay, start. But yeah, it gets more. It is more. Like routine. That's a better word. It gets more like routine. But yeah, just do it, you all. I know it's harder said than done, but if you have a list of 100 people, that's why Dialer just works so well. You just have to click one button, the start dial button, and it calls the number for you. You can't do anything. Of course, you can hang it up, but like it just runs through the numbers for you. So just do it. Number two, have a schedule. I see this issue with a lot of first-time wholesalers. You all do not have a schedule for your cold calling. You need to have a schedule. Let's say you're not cold calling the whole week. Let's say you're only cold calling Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Okay, pick those 3 days and stick with it. And then on top of those days, pick how many hours on each day. Let's say I'm going to call 3 hours each of those days from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 3 hours Monday through Wednesday, and stick with it. And then which list? So let's say you pulled a new list from PropStream. PropStream is this great website where you can take off market properties. You can skip traces. Skip tracing is just basically finding those phone numbers for off market properties, and then you can call them using a different software or just using your personal cell. So if you all are interested in PropStream, link down below. But yeah, have a schedule and stick with it, you all, please, because um, habits are the best things. We are created to have habits, right? Um, and it's so hard to break habits at times, and so that's why you need to make these things a habit, like successful habits, right? Like eating healthy or going to the gym. It's like clockwork now, like if any of you all are into fitness or had a time when you were going to the gym for a while, like every morning it's just like, and you feel like you're missing something, like your whole day is off if you don't go to the gym that morning or that day. So have a schedule. We are created to have habits and to be habitual beings, and so have a schedule. So positive mindset. This is key because the seller the other person on the call can sense your lack of confidence, your timidity, your nervousness. But even then, you all, it goes back to the first thing. Just do it. Like, I can guarantee you on my first day, on my first deal, I was nervous. I probably said things that weren't even the right things to say and different things like that. That's why I started with just do it, because things just work out if you're just present, right? If someone is in need to sell their house or to do anything and you're just present there, they're going to reach out to you. They're going to say yes to you. And even though you're mumbling through your words or different things like that, but have a positive mindset with it. Of course, all these things are easier said than done, but more no's bring you to a yes, and be prepared for them. Be prepared for going through 400 no's before you get a yes. All right. So that is something to take into account. Um, and so a good thing is, like, if you're calling, you get a no, we're like, okay, I'm closer to a yes. uh, I'm just 99% there or something like that. Create a game in your heads to make the cold calling experience better for you all. So talk in a peaceful and happy manner. So the reason why I put these two words together, what I found worked for me is that you need to have some sort of positiveness, joyful in your voice, but at the same time, you don't want to be overly excited, right? You don't want to be like, you want to be like, hey, how's it going? And so it's still calm. I guess calm is a better one, but calm and still at the same time joyful, happy manner. All right. And then number one, be yourself. You may see me cold call or other people cold call on YouTube. Understand, hey, this is how they do that, but at the end of the day, be yourself, who you are, right? If you're not a super social extrovert butterfly, you don't have to be like that on the phone. If you are not an introverted quiet person, you don't have to be that on the phone, right? It works both ways. Find who you are. Of course, there's certain things and traits that you have to take on when you're cold calling, but at the end of the day, be yourself. And with this positive mindset, talking in a good tone, you build rapport. Whether they start talking about family. In my last cold call, they actually started talking about stocks, and I invest in stocks. And it's like, oh, you invest in stocks? And then I started asking questions about that and different things like that. So I was able to build rapport that way. Next thing I want to talk about is matching the tone. So obviously this is key. So match A types with A types. Even though you may not be an A type, you can put in more energy when you talk to this person, right? Or if it's a calm person, you can kind of settle down your personality and talk to them in a more smooth and calm manner, right? So tones can change throughout the conversation. This is something that I learned while cold calling, while talking to sellers, is that sometimes the tones may go up in a conversation, sometimes it goes down. Let's say they start talking about some loss in the family, or about their mortgage, or about like how they can't find money to repair their houses or stuff like that. Like, you have to sympathize with them, right? And you have to express that over the line, right? And so just understand that tones may change. It may start low and ends up high. It may start high and ends up low. So um, match tones, and tones can change throughout the conversation. So another thing is that you have to be in control of the conversation. All right, you all know this. And by the way, I have a video about scripts that I use in my business, so make sure you take a look at that, because I talk about what exactly you need when you're cold calling, right? This is just straight up tips, like do this, do that. This is the way you should act when you're cold calling or talk. But if you want the specifics, like I guess the practical line items that you need to, the information you need to glean from the other person on the line, take a look at that video. So being in control, being in control is just basically you're the person asking questions, right? And they're expressing themselves, they're elaborating on things, they're explaining things about the property, about their situation, and then get vital information out of them through these questions, first. For example, like we always hear, have the seller tell you the price first, right, of the house. Let's say you're marketing, or you're trying to get a house, and just say, hey, and just see what they want. And sometimes they just say the price without you even asking them. But price, condition, these things are some vital information that you need to be in control of, right? When you're asking these questions, like they can ask you a question you can quickly answer, but when it comes time to these line items like price, condition, when they're looking to sell the property, different things like that, you have to be in control of those portions. So being in control. And so you all, I know cold calling is hard. It was difficult for me in the beginning, and I've been doing some cold calls and just follow ups. Right, follow ups are the last thing. So um, I've been doing some follow ups, more follow ups actually over the past few days and weeks since than cold calling, but follow up, because bring up information from previous conversations to build affinity and rapport. So like, let's say last conversation they talked about stocks, about how they invested in a new company, GameStop or something. Be like, hey, how did that GameStop investment go, by the way, when you're following up with them? So that's key advice with cold calling. So boom, I hope you all really enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below, and like this video, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.